Headline after headline, review after review, rating after rating. Why do movies keep flopping? Why are films underperforming despite rave reviews? Going into 2024, I don't think anyone was expecting a blockbuster week, considering it was a less packed year than 2023. But still, 2024 had some of the most anticipated sequels of all time, with long-awaited films such as Beetlejuice, Furiosa, Dune Part 2, Gladiator 2, Megalopolis, and many other films. But now in July, looking at the box office, I didn't think the box office would dry up as badly as it did this year. This is not to discredit the amazing films that came out this year that have a pretty good return on their investment. Also, this does not discredit great, fun films that were underappreciated at the box office. Now that we are halfway through the year, I'm wondering why movies are flopping in 2024 more than maybe ever. Was it the budget? Was it the film's premise? Or was it the audience? Reasonably, I think it's all the reasons. So stay tuned as I answer all these questions and propose some possible solutions to get out of this box office catastrophe, answering once and for all what is happening with 2024 movies. But first, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you do, and hit the like button. It will really help me out. All right, let's go. Part 1. The movies of 2024 thus far. Before any conclusions or solutions can be made, we have to introduce the subject matter, the movies of 2024 themselves. The movies this year, like I've said, have been lesser in quantity, and depending on who you ask, also in quality. Personally, I couldn't say that the movies this year have drastically dipped in quality, but I would be lying to myself if I said the quality of movies is better than ever. Well, this may be because of the consistent rushing on big Hollywood productions and finally feeling the effects of the SAG-AFTRA strikes. Through my reviews this year, only a handful of films stand out in their ratings. This also seems to be the case with many other moviegoers. Say, for example, if I walked up to any casual moviegoer and asked them what the most memorable film of 2024 has been thus far, they'd probably say Dune Part 2. While Dune Part 2 is a fantastic film with rich, complex emotions, making it a generation-defining sci-fi film, it shouldn't be the only one with both great success at the box office and in reviews of 2024. Even director Denis Villeneuve has said that he's disappointed that his film is the highest grossing film of 2024, despite great films being released in theaters like The Fall Guy, Furiosa, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, among other big and small films. Even with a very rough Memorial Weekend box office, there is a sliver of hope for a successful enough summer, with Bad Boys Ride or Die and Inside Out 2 doing great numbers for their films respectively at the box office. But this summer's success makes me more intrigued on why films are underperforming. Part 2. Questions. Question 1. Is the budget of movies in 2024 a problem? This is an obvious question considering recent trends of high inflated budgets. But looking back on Hollywood's history, budgets have always been a problem, an obstacle for the production to overcome. At the end of the day, the studio wants to get their investment back on the film and then some, so productions have to carefully use their budget to their advantage to make their vision come to life. Nowadays, this is still the case, but however, recent technology and recent economic events have made costs skyrocket for film's production. Also, with productions needing state-of-the-art visual effects and practical effects, the budget can increase even more, as well as the salaries of actors, directors, writers, and all the crew members added on. All of these needs being accounted for can inflate the budget of a film to hundreds of millions of dollars. Additionally, a movie may spend half of what the budget was just on the marketing of the film, which is typically not accounted for in the budget itself, thus making it harder for a film to earn some money. This mindset of how every movie needs to be a hit to pay off debts and make money can be the downfall of studios. This was the case with Disney last year in 2023, with the company losing $1.3 billion due to poor box office numbers for movies with high inflated budgets, most notably Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny, with a budget of $387.2 million. Now looking at 2024, The Fall Guy had a budget of somewhere around $150 million, not accounting for the excessive marketing for the film. And the movie made only $170 million, making it a box office bomb despite having great reviews describing it as a summer blockbuster. Well, not. Furiosa had a budget of $168 million and only made $161 million, making it a box office bomb as well. The studio's mindset needs to change on whether a film is guaranteed to be a hit despite having great star power, while studios like Blumhouse and A24 have changed their mindset and made their movies on the cheapity cheap, choosing the simple cost-cutting measures to lessen the budget of their films so they can have a higher return even with the market accounted for. Ultimately, in Hollywood, the budget of films is a great problem, which may cause good or bad films to flop at the box office. Question 2. Are plots of movies not appealing towards movie theaters? This question is a little bit more in-depth concerning the subject matter of the films and whether it is appealing to mainstream audiences. Obviously, everyone has their own taste in films and their own ideal films to see in theaters. But if you were to take the casual movie-going audience as a whole, what films would most likely be on their radar? The deciding factor of that is ultimately the premise of a movie, whether it is a sequel, prequel, remake, spin-off, or an original film. Let's take, for example, the Garfield movie. Not the most prestigious film of 2024, but a movie nonetheless. With a plot of Garfield going on a heist? What? This is a cat that hates Mondays and eats lasagna. That's it. I only bought a ticket to see that on the big screen, not some overly orange cat figuring out his relationship with his dad while on a heist mission. This premise is just not the way to go. The premise of the Garfield movie didn't sell tickets. The character did, and even then, not many moviegoers showed up due to the dying popularity of the character. Another example that may be the most notable of 2024 is the movie Madam Web. Right off the bat, a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. Boom. You lost most of your box office revenue, Sony. Not because it's a female cast, not because it's a prequel, because your Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe has no Spider-Man, and it serves no purpose without a Spider-Man. The premise of the film is just so unnecessary, making it hard for most moviegoers to pay their hard-earned money on Madam Web. Even your own actors are trashing the movie. My local movie theater, as a joke, uses this poster for unreleased films. Man, when I looked at this poster for the first time, I'm like, that's gotta hurt Sony real bad. Anyways, it seems that the premise of the movie may be a problem when trying to get audiences to movie theaters, thus creating more box office bombs. Question 3. Is the blame on the audience? This question is a little more tough to answer, but I think it is necessary to address. An individual has to make their own decisions on when they would like to go to the movie theaters, considering that prices are skyrocketing. When you take that into account, the movie theaters are to blame for creating higher ticket prices, higher than ever. But also, an individual's decision may depend on whether they want to see a movie in theaters or at home. Then, the streaming platforms are to blame for this reliance on new entertainment straight from theaters, which is arguably way cheaper than going to the movie theaters. But it's hard to say that the blame is directly on the audience. Ultimately, the audience is influenced by the streaming content and their worries of high prices. I don't think I have anything else to say about the audience when at the end of the day, it's a person's choice on whether they want to see a film in theaters. Part 3. Solutions. If there's a problem, there's a solution. And I have some solutions in mind, which may not be studio-saving ideas, but I do have some solutions that have worked for movies before and can work again. Solution 1. Viral marketing. I think this one was a given. Viral marketing, everybody loves viral marketing, whether it be ads, real-life pop-ups, or maybe notable popcorn buckets. This uprising in popcorn buckets has helped movies receive more popularity than ever before, no matter how creative the popcorn bucket may be. This new area of merchandising of movies beyond just t-shirts is helping very much. Speaking of which, also immersive experiences where you can be surrounded by popular movies is becoming more frequent. Recently, Netflix has announced a permanent immersive experience at certain malls across the country where you can experience, shop, eat, and be in your favorite Netflix properties. This brings positive attention towards the movies you're trying to promote. If the studios need to make a hit movie, then treat it like a hit movie. Go all out, not just what's in the movie, but also in real life and advertisements. The Strangers Chapter 1, an awful, disrespectful film, had lots of ads starting from November of 2023 leading up towards the movie's release. The marketing just got insane with people dressing up as the strangers going up to people's houses. Just look at that. That's terrifying. But even with worse than below average reviews, The Strangers Chapter 1 is the highest grossing horror movie of 2024 thus far. As you can see, vile marketing in this day and age is ultimately, might I say, a perfect solution. Solution 2. Create sequels before it's too late. Hear me out on this one. While rushing movies, especially franchise movies, is the most common factor in worsening a movie's quality, it is ultimately a way for the franchise to stay relevant. Furiosa, a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, a film turning 10 years old next year, released 9 years after the last entry in the Mad Max saga. Through this long wait, the interest among the general public to see Furiosa died down, making the film not as profitable as it could have been if it had released earlier. Also, the Garfield movie, like I've said before, a dying character without a mainstream movie since 2006 gets an animated movie in 2024. And there's little room for success there. I understand the process a movie needs to take to go into production with a solid script in hand, but studios need to understand that the clock of patience isn't endless, so reasonably releasing sequels before it's too late is a viable solution. Solution 3. Push for new technology and never-before-seen ideas. This solution seems to be the most reasonable, as it has worked time and time again. But in this day and age of sequels, studios seem to prioritize story and character continuation above anything new. I'm all up for having continuations of stories, but I'm also up for new technologies and ideas being used. For example, Bad Boys Ride or Die used a camera rig for actors to film the scene but also act in it at the same time. Look at how cool is that? This new technology only enhances the scene and the enjoyment of the film, making it stand apart. This video has been making its way across social media, possibly making people want to go see the film in theaters. Another example is Inside Out 2. It uses multiple types of animation to present its characters in different formats, more specifically than ever before. Pixar is known for paying homage to old animation, but Inside Out 2 takes that to a whole new level with a 3D PS1 looking character being used, among other character designs. This innovation only benefits the film. Even better news is that these films are very successful for their respective franchises. As you can see, using new technologies and new ideas may help movies even more than you may expect. For the record, I hate to see headlines with movies failing and underperforming. I'm a true movie lover who loves to see movies, good or bad, in theaters or not. But I hope I answered a question I have been wondering now for a while. What is happening with 2024 movies? Thanks for watching this video. Please share any opinions you have down below. I'd love to read them. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you do, and also hit the like button. I'm Dabood from Movies and All. Hasta la vista.